Hello, comic book guys and gals, and welcome to Comic Mag Musings. I'm your host, Bill Miller. Today I wanted to make a video because I just reached 100 subscriptions a few days ago, and I wanted to get it made and released soon before I drop below 100 and somewhat invalidate the video. 100 subscriptions is nice, but it's really the journey, I think, versus the destination for me. It's been a slow and steady climb to 100, and that's okay, because really what I value more than anything are the connections, the friendships that I've made among folks within the comic book community, both on YouTube and Instagram. And those are by far the most important things to me to come out of making this YouTube channel. It's nice to be able to be validated through subscriptions that someone appreciates the content that you create. But it's nice in the sense that someone's enjoying it, and hopefully that spurs them to make a comment, reach out to you on a personal level, so you can start forging a friendship. I think that's what I treasure most thus far, the friendships that I've started to make and started to slowly build with other members of the community. 100 subscriptions is a neat milestone. Hopefully I can get more, but more importantly, hopefully if someone doesn't want to subscribe, that's fine by me. I appreciate the comments, the opportunities, the segues to be able to spark up a friendship with like-minded individuals who share the same type of passion for collecting comics or comic-related hobbies that I do. It's sort of like if you were just dropped into a neighborhood where everyone in that neighborhood was a comic book collector. I see this community as a virtual neighborhood in that regard. People that share your passions, understanding that they have lives, that they have things that they need to do, they can relate to you on that level, but that's that one extra impetus of a shared passion that you have with them that you can discuss, whether through comments or wireless phones or Instagram, emails, things like that. And you can share your passion with one another, talk about things that maybe you can't talk about with other people in your lives because they're just not as familiar with the hobby as the others are that either are on YouTube or Instagram, the ones that are part of this community. So to me, that's the real value. That's what I get out of it. And hopefully I can keep that momentum going and get to meet more great people who are supportive, who are fun, who are educational, and who really enhance the enjoyment of the collecting hobby for me. Everyone, for the most part, that I've met or become acquainted with within the community has been supportive. I wanted to give a quick shout out to a few people who have been extra supportive, at least when it comes to dealing with me personally. Some of those would be Roger at Metarog. Incredible guy. He's turned me on to several different YouTube channels by looking at contests through some of the sub contests or tag videos, things like that, just really bringing to light content that's going on other channels that perhaps I was unfamiliar with, that then spurs me to go check them out and enjoy their content for the most part, sub them up, and it's kind of like a spider web, just keeps building from there. Alex from Alex Big Blue, very early on, he's been a good friend. He's got a great channel himself. I always enjoy watching his videos, and he's been more than kind, more than I deserve, and so thank you, Alex. Also Nick from Spider Comics 7. He was one of the early folks to reach out to me and really be supportive, and I'll always appreciate that. He's taken a hiatus from making videos, but I certainly hope he comes back into the fold and starts making them again, because I always enjoy his content. Perry from Perry Comics, and Perry and the Lurkers. One of the few to very early on give me a shout out. He was very encouraging, and he's just a funny guy. If you haven't watched his videos or his live streams, they're a treat. My brother from another mother across the pond, the Gray Man. He's always been supportive, always leaves me comments. Funny guy. If you haven't watched his videos, they're great. Just a good heart. Knows a lot about his comics, and he's very supportive. Rod from Just a Rican and his comics reached out to me early as well, and involved me in a couple of community shout out videos, which I certainly appreciate. That guy's got a heart of gold, and it comes through whenever he films his videos. Lastly, I would put Alan from After Comics. Just great guy. Probably one of, if not my favorite YouTube channel, and very quick to respond to comments. I'm sorry. He's left comments before. Very engaging, and just a wonderful, wonderful way to spend a couple hours watching through some of his videos, and especially the Out of the Bag series. I highly recommend them. Going forward, I think there are some things that I'm trying to do a little bit differently, mix things up. Hauls are fun, and hauls are easy, and I think I tend to get lazy sometimes. I work a lot of hours. I have a 7-year-old, and I'm constantly engaging with him, doing things for him, getting him ready for school, all that kind of stuff, and it seems like the cycle just goes around and repeats. Get up in the morning, take him to school, work 10, 11 hours, come pick him up, get him ready for bed, do his homework, and start the cycle anew. But at some point, it's making excuses, and I think that's what I've been doing. And so I want to try to recalibrate and mix in some different type of content that I think some people might enjoy or appreciate, as opposed to the majority of what I've been doing thus far. The very first video I did on YouTube was a comic book review for an Image comic called Elsewhere, and people seem to enjoy it, so I'll probably do some more reviews. They're just a lot of work. I remember that taking hours and hours, writing up the summary just the way I wanted it, so as not to provide any spoilers but still be descriptive of the book. Communicating in a way that was both inoffensive but truthful as far as how I felt about the writing and the art, and reading it and rereading it and rereading it over and over again to make sure that I got all the subtle nuances of the story within that particular issue. So I'll probably do some more reviews, but maybe dial it back a little bit. Be a bit less scripted in how I do the review, but still include some valuable content so someone can make an informed decision about whether or not they'd like to pick up an issue or a trade. I'll probably start doing some from the Vault series, whether they're issues that I have for a particular title, or some I got a request in one of the comments to do some original art. I don't have a whole lot of original art, but I probably have enough for several videos, so I might do that as well. I could get into some action figures. There are just different ideas that I'm kicking around, as far as making things different, making them fun and varied, versus just doing strictly hauls. I like hauls. There's nothing wrong with them, but I think I need to bring something else to the channel to keep people not only interested, but maybe show them a different side of collecting that perhaps they hadn't seen, or provide them with food for thought on some particular comic related title or topic. Community shoutouts. I'll probably start doing those on a regular basis. I guess the qualifier with me is it will have to be somebody that I am subscribed to and someone who I've seen several videos of and enjoy their content. That way I can come from a place of truthfulness and honesty when I recommend them to others. I'll probably start doing some contest entries, some videos for those. I haven't done them thus far. They seem like a lot of fun and a good way to connect to some of the other members of the comic book community. So that's ultimately everything should support that particular macro goal, is strengthening relationships and bonds, at least for me, with other members of the comic book community. I might do some live streams at some point. I just think that you need to have some more potential viewers, some more subscribers before that becomes valuable. Maybe some CGC unboxings. That's the cart before the horse. I don't have a subscription for CGC, so I'd have to do that first. That is one of my goals for 2020, so we'll see how that shakes out. And this is just a subset of some of the things I've been thinking about doing for the new year. But on location unboxings. I just filmed one. It was a whole bunch of fun. I'll probably release that the Friday following this video. But it was a desert unboxing in the middle of the Sonoran Desert. It was a great time. I think people will really enjoy it. And so if I get good feedback from that, maybe I'll try to take the unboxings on the road and try some different areas or venues or environments within which to do the unboxings. So we'll see. Editing is also probably one of my least favorite things to do. And that has become a challenge as well. I almost disdain editing. It's not fun for me. And the more I have to edit, the less fun the YouTube channel is becoming for me. So I've gotten a better camera. I've gotten better lighting. And hopefully those things will help me from making 19, 20 different edits and spending hours and hours, because I can't stand it. I'm not good at it, clearly. I think you can see from my videos that I don't do a lot of editing, and when I do it, I don't do it particularly well. But I guess it forces me to try to get it all in one take every time, because I can't stand doing it over and over again. And it's very difficult for me to cut out this section or that section. I don't understand the software I'm using terribly well, and it frustrates me, so I don't use the software that much because it frustrates me. And then so it's a cycle, right, that keeps continuing. At some point I'll need to break through the wall on that and figure it out and bite the bullet. But thank you again. I wanted to say thank you to those folks that I mentioned in particular, but a big thank you to everyone in the comic book community. I certainly appreciate the support. It hasn't gone unnoticed. Hopefully I can keep producing the content that you enjoy. And if there's some things that you'd like to see, I'm certainly willing to consider making new and different types of videos. Thanks again, everyone. Thumbs up. And remember, we're taking over the world one comic book at a time. I almost forgot. I promised that I was going to show a comic book as well. So here it is. This is the new Two-Fisted Tales, number 37, from EC Comics. This is from 1954. It consists of the stories Action, Warrior, Homemade Blitz, and Showdown. We have the writer is Colin Dawkins. The art is by John Severin. The cover is by John Severin, and the colorist is Marie Severin. It's got a date stamp right up there. See it? But this is my first real EC comic, I guess. I have a couple coverless and partial cover war comics from EC, but this would be my first that's complete. I certainly see myself moving in that direction, probably starting with the war comics, Two-Fisted Tales and Frontline Combat, and then moving into the horror and crime. So we'll kind of see how that goes and how it shakes out over the next couple of years. Thanks again. Bye.